So the Esquire writer Chris Jones, he's married, he's got kids, and he wrote this really edgy piece in Esquire magazine saying there's a spectrum of female lovers just as there is a spectrum of male lovers. Trouble is, most women act as though they're sexual Olympians, as though they're doing the men in their lives the greatest of favors, merely by presenting themselves like a downed beer strapped to the hood of a car. Some of you are deluding yourselves. And it kind of reminded me of myself, and I used to talk a big game when I was at Reber Hall at UCLA in 1989, so I was 22 years old, and I was working on this very sexually explicit novel, and I met an Asian girl across the hall, and she read my novel, and she pointed out various parts, and she said were anatomically impossible. So this one scene, it featured a woman in a car with a gear stick. So I thanked the woman for her feedback, and I'd yet to be with any woman. So a month later, my critic was my first woman. A few weeks later, into our relationship, she said she was feeling insecure because I'd been with so many women. And that's when I broke down and told her the truth, that she was my first, she was my only, and she really liked that. I remember 6 years went by. I came back to Los Angeles, and she came over one night with a sack of potatoes. One thing led to another. Afterwards, she asked me, well, how many women have you been with since me? And I said, well, about 10. And she said, they thought you were. You used to be really awkward. I asked her, how many men have you been with since me? And she said, 1. So glad to be in Los Angeles. I was off to the races. I went to every synagogue I could. I went to parties. I played singles ads. I went wild. I met women. I sometimes heard the words, let's get this over with. So I thought I was pretty special until just after my 40th birthday, a woman I'd been with just once started writing these vengeful blog posts about what a lousy lover I was. She called me Thumper. My next girlfriend said she could tell when I was no longer interested in her pleasure and only in my own. My next girlfriend said I was rather methodical. So after that, I kind of stopped messing around and I took up sex addiction